Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 what the fuck is up there out down on YouTube? So go by Papa Tikyo, coming to you live from Shinjuku, Japan. We're doing another at-home rant today, and I'm borrowing my buddy X-Japter's, X-Japter. It's G-A, what is it? Japanese and the tur, it's Japan and chapter mixed together, and there's an X. I forgot why he named his channel that way, but anyway, this is my buddy in Kanagawa, my YouTube buddy. I have not met him in person. I've only talked to him over Messenger and in the comments section. But he, we're buds, we're pals. Anyway, I'm borrowing his footage because of the topic today, and it's called "Why I Hate the Suburbs" or "Why I Don't Want to Live Outside a Major City Ever Again." And he mostly does like walking videos, I think, for the most part. It's very similar kind of style to me. He does he just does walks and talks, and he's a way better talker than me. But yeah, I wanted to use some driving footage, and I was like, okay. And it's so funny because I haven't checked in on his channel in 2 months, and it's so funny because I like watching his videos when I work out. There's always it's just so different watching, like, working out and listening to a talking head video where there's no real like kind of format, and it's not like all pristine and shit, and it's different. It feels like you're working out at the gym and you can hear somebody having a conversation in the background on the phone or something. I don't know, it just feels different. But I know I can tell like how long I haven't been exercising for when I go to his when I go to his channel, and it's like, last time you were here was 3 months ago, and I'm like, ah, damn it, yeah, I got to get back on that I got to get back on that wagon. But anyway, yeah, hello everybody. Thank you, everyone, for whoever comes over to this channel, for always coming in and checking out these episodes. Yeah, because, it's one of those, like, I started this channel because YouTube, at one point a couple years ago, was like, yeah, we're not gonna, YouTube was like, we're only gonna promote videos that are 10 minutes long, or shorter. And so, like, I was like, okay, it's hurting my channel growth having these hour-long videos on my main channel, so I moved them over to ADVJapan, which I think is better overall, because even if YouTube's doing the opposite now. They're pushing long-format videos more than ever, and so I could technically bring these back to the TKO Sam channel, but I like it how they've kind of formed, a little home of their own here, and yeah, I like it. I like it better, It's nice. So, but anyway, yeah. I'm always grateful that you guys come over here. I know that these topics aren't super dramatic and like juicy and, full of gossipy bullshit or whatever that people love to listen to. But it's just, it's a place where I can spiel and give my opinion about shit regarding my life in Japan. I remember Ryan Boundless once told me, Sam, if you weren't in Japan, nobody would watch your videos. And I was like, oh, come on, bro. And I'm like, well, you get way less views and you're not in Japan anymore, so I guess people didn't watch your channel for your, they only watched your channel because you were in Japan too, bro. But, nah, but he moved on, and, he seems to have a really good community of positive dudes who like watching his stuff, and I like watching his stuff too, so. But anyway, we'll get into that in a second. It's the 4-minute point in this video, so let me just shout out my stuff, guys. Big shout out to everybody who goes over to patreon.com/TKOSam. I don't really make money off of these videos because either they just don't get any views or there's copyrighted stuff in them. And so, on this channel, I make a maximum of like 10 or 20 bucks a month from ad revenue. So, yeah, this is entirely supported by you guys. So always thank you for everybody who goes over to Patreon. On Patreon, it's so funny because a lot of people, X-Japter, if you don't know this, I think I got in on Patreon. Like, Patreon switched it up So if you, before it used to be you could put in a custom pledge, and so like if you wanted to like just support somebody for $1, then like you could do that. But now it's like you can only do it for the minimum support. And on my Patreon, I have the minimum support to like I think like $2 or something. So at least you guys can read my blog, and it takes care of like some of the processing fees or whatever. And yeah. But like on my Patreon, I purposely try to give, like, dude, I spent like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, in December, like half days of just making content for my Patreon. I uploaded a shit ton of behind the scenes footage. I made about like 3 years worth of blogs. I mean, I like writing though, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, I made just like a bunch of content for that. And yeah, and so if you guys have ever been thinking about learning Japanese, and I'm going to be talking about this one guy who I found today who's retiring in Japan, and I wanted to kind of chime on that in a little bit afterwards. So if you guys have, it seems like a lot more people are just coming over to Japan and buying houses, and I think they're making it easier for people, like older people, to come over here. So if you guys like my stuff, and you think you like the cut of my jip or whatever, then and you want to learn Japanese, and you think that my Japanese is pretty good, or you like my teaching or advice style, then go over to patreon.com/TKOSam. It's $35 a month to get access to all of my Japanese lessons. And yeah, it's a video format, and then you can join the Discord too. And we've got a great community of people that are studying Japanese over there as well. And yeah, just a ton of different bonus footage there. Also, big thank you to everybody who always super chats and super thanks in these videos. Like, guys, it's just it really helps. Even like $1 or $2, it always fucking helps. And big thank you to everybody who becomes a member. A big shout out to Tex Machina. He's like one of the few guys who gifts memberships constantly. And I think I'm gonna redo my membership tiers probably in a month or two. I need to double check because I think it resets everybody, because you can only have like 3 subscriber tiers, I think. So but I think I'm gonna reset it to make it easier for people to, because I only have like a $5. I think I have like a $1, a $5, and like a $100 one or something. I don't know. I made it like that different so people would be more enticed just to go for the cheaper option. Which if you sign up and you get the cheaper option, guys, then you can go, you can access the photo dump part of my Discord, where I just like, if I go out and do something cool, I take pictures and I post it there instead of Instagram. So yeah, anyway, that's enough self-promo. Join the Discord. Follow me on socials. I'm pretty edgy and constantly on Twitter, so go over there. And yeah. But anyway, yeah, an ex-Japter, if you want me to, like, take this down for the footage, I'll just message you on Instagram before I even release this, but I think he'll be cool with it. Anyway, I have, like, a bunch of different fucking topics when it comes to, like, what kind of rants I want to do this year moving forward. And like right now I'm making this in January, full disclosure. I mean, like, I'm gonna be releasing this in winter, so probably in February. So the dark cloudiness really does match the season that I'm releasing this in. So yeah, besides, you motherfuckers won't be able to tell. Like, unless I said I made this last week, you guys wouldn't know. But I mean, the whole point is just like if for the month of January, I'm trying to make as many at-home rants as possible. Like at least like one per day. I'm trying to do these so that I have a backlog of them in case I don't have motorcycle rant prepared. Because I like, it's so funny. I was talking to Oriental Pearl, and she showed me her new GoPro, and the new GoPros are just so massive. They're huge. The whole point, like the whole like awesome thing about GoPros is that they're small and tiny and portable. And the new one's just like it's just like a giant cube. And I mean, like, I bet it like looks good and everything, but I think this is a GoPro 6 that I use for my videos for my motorcycle, and it's fine. It's 1080p. It can do 4K. It can do 60 frames per second. Like, don't break what's not, don't fix what's not broken, kind of thing, right? And so, like, if my GoPro goes to shit, I'm probably just going to get another GoPro 6 because I like them so much. And I have, like, 15 batteries for them as well. But, yeah, you know, phew, anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, so anyway, I'm making a backlog of these right now in January, so, they'll probably be sprinkled throughout the year. You know, like, I want to get in the habit of making a backlog of these just in case I don't go. I mean, like, right now it's fucking cold, dude. Like, my friend invited me to come to his place, and it's about like a 20-30 minute ride from my house, which would be great for a rant, you know, like just showing you guys around Tokyo. But it's like what's the temperature today? It's like 10 degrees Celsius outside. Well, no, today it's gonna be 12, but it's cold. It's got the wind chill there and everything. So, yeah, and also it's gonna rain today, so I'm just kind of chilling at home. But, I don't know, like, having these home rants made, in case I don't have a bike rant made, it's great for peace of mind, you know? So, yeah, and I like this too. It's like, it's a great way to spiel in the morning. Like, I get my coffee, I check the news. God, I've been checking the news too much recently. I do not like checking the news and checking the mail. It's just like, the news is so depressing and shit all the time. Like, I think I just need to make another Twitter account just so I don't, like, because I follow like 4,000 people on Twitter, and it's all just random shit. Like, I need to make like another Twitter that's not filled with like just like negative news reports and stuff, you know. Hold on, let me get a sip of this coffee here. This week I tried a new I mean, it's totally coincidental. You know, I'm trying a new black coffee. I buy all my coffee, like, I don't brew my own coffee. I just buy it in bottles. And I'm trying a new coffee that I got at I had to go to the drugstore to buy what did I buy? Like Listerine and Hokkaido. Yeah, like, that's the secret, guys. If you want those disposable heat pads that they have in Japan for winter, like, if you go to the drugstores, like, especially like the cheap ones, you can buy them for way cheaper than any other store or convenience store or online. So I was going there, and I was like, oh, they have coffee. Oh, like, you know, this is a bigger bottle than mine, and it's only like $1. Okay, yeah, I'll get that. And I think it's is it Nestle or something? I don't know. Or Georgia maybe. I gotta double check, but I have that, and I bought like some Hokkaido milk for a change, and just like, wow, the quality is so much better. It's just nice. It's so funny because when I was younger, I didn't really like coffee, you know. I was more of a soda guy or like Red Bull, and I always wondered, like, why do parents, you know, why do all these adults drink coffee? You know, you always see in the movies, like, somebody's like, they're drinking coffee and they're like, oh, that's a shit cup of coffee, and it's like, oh, that's a good cup of coffee. And it's funny because, like, you don't really do that with Coke that much, right? Like, with Coca-Cola, it's like, no, it's like, oh, this is a name brand cola. Oh, is this an RC cola? Is this a vanilla cream soda cola? Like, there's not, like, a lot of variety of people. Like, usually most of them, they just buy the one brand and then you're done, you know? That or, like, Diet Coke or something, right? But with coffee, there's, like, infinite amount of brands and ways to make it and stuff and change the flavors. So, I understand why there's coffee snobs out there, I guess I'm just saying. But, anyway, yeah, like, today's topic, shit, like, you know, it's funny because I'm trying to timestamp all of these, too, so, so I remember to timestamp them later, but, like, I'm not gonna keep the timestamps now. I'm gonna just make them when I'm premiering this, and then just editing them later into the Setsume no Tokoro, into the video, what do you call it, description part. But yeah, suburbs. I don't know. What's your definition of suburbs? For me, if I think of America, I think of like man-made neighbor. Well, I mean, of course, all neighborhoods are man-made, right? But I think of like purposely big, all-at-once planned neighborhoods where they get rid of all the nature, and it's just roads and houses and like grass, you know, and some trees maybe. But in Japan, this is kind of, well, I mean, they have suburbs, right? Like, suburbs can be little towns with a lot of roads around them, right? But this here in Japan, this is kind of like, I mean, you could say this is like, I guess people looking at this would probably call it like, oh, it's just a town, you know? It's like a spread out little town. And to be fair, this is actually really nice. You know, the suburbs that I wanted to bitch about in Japan, like for this video, are the ones where I bet if X-Chapter's if he's watching this, he'll know what I'm talking about, because he's traveled around Japan a lot. But like in Japan, for example, like when I went to Gunma in Takasaki in Gunma, that's like a perfect example. It's just like, it's like any road in America for like a highway. You just drive by it and it's just a bunch of chain shops and restaurants, and it's all the same shit, and it's just boring stuff. There's no places to hang out, and then it's just houses, and even worse if there's no nature to look at. Like in this video, it's cool because it's like you see that this is just like a little beacon of American, of like American, of like, you know, like civilization, right? Like they've got a little town, but it's still encompassed by nature, you know. So you can enjoy that, right? Like it's nice, but it's like it's still kind of spread out and everything. And look, that's for all of you guys who don't know, whenever you see a pink building like that, that means it's a kindergarten. And in Japan, because, you know, colors. It's so funny in Japan how they're like, nah, like, you know, we're not gonna like I don't know why. If I had a house, I would just paint it blue or something. Like, make it super medatsu, you know? Make it, like, really stand out. Because, like, fuck it, you know? Why not? If like, the town allows it. Like, there's some towns in Japan, for example, like, the places around, like, mountains, like in Tochigi or around Mount Fuji, they have a rule that you can't use any color, like, bright color, like green or blue or whatever, especially for the convenience store signs. So all the businesses have to be brown, so it looks more like nature. And I'm for that. I'm okay with that, you know? But, anyway, it's just like, when I see a little town like this, it's nice, it's quaint, but, you know, this is a great place to be if you, one, are living with your family, like you're a Japanese person, you're living with your family, you've got, like, a support network for you, or two, you're moving there with your family, you know? Like, this for me is not it's not a good place for a young guy, because young guys, we want to go, like, when you're young, the only way to really mature or get better is to surround yourself with people, because you're gonna learn. You know, in Japanese they have this saying, and I love putting it on my resume all the time, which is like kame no ko yori toshi no ko. Which means that, you know, it's like, it's so funny because, like, the literal meaning is like what? Like a turtle shell over, coal. It's like turtle shell over age or something, like a hard turtle shell over age. But it like, the figurative, translation of that is experience without learning is better than learning without experience. And it's basically like the whole saying that you can read as many books as you want about surfing in a classroom, but until you actually go out and try to surf, you're never going to really understand what the fuck surfing is. And so, you know, same thing. When you're in a little town like this, your options are very limited. You know, like, there's not any places for young people to go and congregate except for, like, the occasional, like, festival or whatever. And even then, like, if you're out with people, usually they're in their friend group that they all gathered, and they don't want, like, other people going in there. And I mean, like, it's possible you can, like, infiltrate the group of people, but it's just harder, you know. It's like you're gonna have to put in the extra work and stuff, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. I also love how this is in the countryside, and look, there's no guardrails on the roads. It's like, if you fucking fall over, like, imagine if it snowed in right here, right? I mean, I think this is in Kanagawa. In Kanagawa, it never really snows. But, like, imagine that, dude. Like, if it snows, like, you can't see the fucking road. If the snow was piled up on the sides, you could easily slide off. And look at that. Oh, you gotta slide. Like, you could barely make it through. Like, you know, this is like one of the nice, like, kind of like little fun aspects of living like outside in Japan, because this is countryside, but this isn't even like super countryside. Like, it's so funny, yeah, because like there's a difference between suburbs and countryside, and this is countryside. Like, suburbs is just basically like it's like the city, except there's nothing but like chains, like chain restaurants, chain shops, and just a bunch of houses lined up, right? Like I said earlier, this place actually has the houses spread out and stuff too, but like I wouldn't even want to live here again though. And the whole thing is just like, again, like when you're younger you need those experiences. I think it's good if you live in a place like this versus Goi in Chiba. I remember when I lived in Chiba, there was a friend of a friend who was an English teacher for Jet, and Jet had placed her in Goi in Chiba, and Goi is basically a shitty fucking place. In my opinion, it is. It's like near kind of the coast of Chiba on the west side, and it's all just, it's on the coastline. It's nothing but factories, and then it's like basically one road. The road is the highway that goes from North Chiba to the south of Chiba, right? And on the ocean side of the road is the factories. Big ass fucking like power plants and shit like that. And then on the right side of the road, it's all the houses of people that work at those places. And there's just nothing. There's nothing to do. And so I remember my friend's friend, this fat white lady. She was really nice, just kind of kind of chunky. But she lived there, and it was just like, there was like, she lived in like this like new, quote unquote, new apartment, but it was still shitty. Like, it was just like this tiny apartment on like a 2-story apartment building, and like I was like, wow, like Jet put you here, like because I always thought Jet would put you in places like this that you see in the video of like countryside, but no, they just put her like right in the middle of this like industrial plant area, and yeah, it was interesting, but I was like, yeah, like compared to this kind of place in the video, the countryside is very nice and very doable, because at least you're getting the fresh air, no fumes from the power plants or factories, you know, and it's nice. I mean, like, look, for all of you guys who don't live in Japan, like, probably this scenery is fine for you, right? And I'm not saying I hate it or anything, but it's just like, you really, if you move to a place like an area like this, you really, really need to be proactive, and you know, like, you need to like explore too. Like, that was one of the fun things I did when I first moved to the countryside in Chiba. And hold on, let me get some water here. Refreshing. When I first moved to the countryside in Chiba, like, luckily one of my friends gave me a scooter. That, I guess that was like pre-spaghetti, and it was this tiny little green scooter, and I was able to, like, I liked it because I could ride on the mountain paths, and I could also like ride in the little roads that were like too small for even cars, you know, like the bike path places. And so I got to explore my town like crazy. Like, I remember I would just be bored, and like, you know, after I finished like school, I would just go and just ride around, and it was really fun, you know, like getting to go around and just like check out all these little like nooks and crannies of like the actual area and stuff. And yeah, like seeing these giant ass roads, like, look at that, just giant ass fucking highways. God damn. Yeah, I don't even know where, like, this is a video of X chapters that I haven't even watched yet. Like, I always I liked to watch his videos when I was working out last year in 2024, and I would watch him, I would watch Guelo 60, and I would watch Real Rural Japan, but like, I'd be working out like, you know, 3 times a week just at home, and their videos, though, sometimes they're like 10 minutes, sometimes they're like 30 minutes. And so, like, if it's one video, then that's like one workout. If it's like 30 minutes, that's one workout session for me. But if they had released 2 10-minute videos in one thing, then I'm like, ah, shit. Like, and I basically bust through their videos And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna blame my not working out anymore on these guys. Yep, no more responsibility for me. I'm a buck chicken. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Yellow house, nice. There you go. But yeah, I mean, just like living out in a place like this, it's just like I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'd be wasting my life living in a place like this. Like I feel like places like this, you know, like Ryan Boundless, I mentioned him earlier. Like, you know, he had a series when he was living in Japan called Dream Crusher, where he would call his viewers like you know, weeboos and everything like that, and saying like, you're gonna come to Japan, you're gonna hate it because you suck. And you know, like it's pretty mean, but yeah, you know, like I get what he was getting at, is that it's like, you know, it's so easy to kind of like fall into a loop of acceptance of mediocrity. And it's not just English teachers, it's like people in towns like this, you know, like they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I've been working at the post office for like 20 years, and yeah, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, how long you been working at this convenience store? Oh, 15 years. What are you going to do if you want to get another job? I guess I'll work at a gas station or something else if this place goes under. And I don't know, it's just like I remember when I was riding in the mountains of Gunma, or maybe Tochigi, I can't remember exactly where, but like there's some places in the mountain, like if you're in the middle of like beautiful fucking countryside. Like I remember Brian, Ramen Adventures, and I, when we went on our little camping trip in Gunma, our little motorcycle camping trip, I remember we stopped by this place called Michino Eki, which is like a bunch of local kind of car, what do you call it? It's like a little shop that you can go to rest from your trip, but also they sell local goods from that area. So like the place that we stopped in, it had like berries and vegetables and all this stuff, and it was really cool, you know. But like if you worked in a place like if you were in the countryside and you worked in a place like that, then like, yeah, you know, like you get to meet new people every day, and you're surrounded by awesome scenery. This kind of town here, this is not awesome scenery. Like I would get depressed and bored after like 2 months being here, you know. If I could be in the mountains, like, oh god, it's just so beautiful, so nice, it's good. You know, you get to hear the river flowing. You get to, you know, just look at the fucking mountain monkeys, the ninja monkeys. You see Nathan in there. Yeah, oh, hi everybody. I'm Nathan, and I'm here to teach you about the thing. And there you go, mate. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. That was an Aussie accent. That was not a British accent. Hello. Anyway, if you guys are wanting to visit Japan, you should check out Ninja Monkey. By the way, he's pretty cool. But yeah. And now we're on the ocean side of this. I don't know where X chapter is. Again, like I haven't watched these videos yet, so I'm watching them without sound. And like that's fine though, because when I watch these again, I'll be, you know, working out and like half looking at this while just listening to it. So that's fine. But yeah, I mean, like the whole thing is just like you need to have like a rough idea of what you want, you know. You got to plan. And like for me, like when I first moved to Japan, I just wanted to be here, and I knew that I couldn't do anything until I learned Japanese. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay in Chiba for like 2 to 4 years or something, get my Japanese up, save my money, and you know, and then I'll probably move to Tokyo, because I'm going to Tokyo a lot, and that's like where like my friends were living. So you know, about like the 3-year point or whatever of this, like yeah, I eventually I had to quote unquote leave that job in the countryside because I was I was stupid, and I put a video of like a promo video for the YouTube Hanami, and it was like I put some of my students in that video, and you know, a smart person called the school, and they're like, hey, your teacher put a video of the students on there. And for some reason I thought it was okay because I saw another English teacher do that, But then I realized that English teacher had left Japan, and then she put that video up, and I was like, oh, fuck. But anyway, hindsight's 2020, right? And I ended up losing that job, which is fine, you know, because like it's like one door closes, another door opens, and I didn't leave the company on bad terms, but yeah, that's what prompted me to move to Tokyo, and it worked out great. I got a better job as soon as I moved to Tokyo, and that paid me better, and it was in an interesting area of the city, so. You know, it worked. You know, it all worked out well. You know, everything's coming up, Millhouse. No, but I mean, like, it's good that that happened, because if that hadn't happened, I'd like to think that if that hadn't happened, I still would have moved to Tokyo after that contract was done, because I was tired of living there. You know, I was living there for like every weekend I was taking the bullet train, or the fast train or whatever, from my town into Tokyo. And it's funny, I was a bad boy back then, guys. I was a bad Papatico, because at that train, what I would do, because I was a starving young poor black child of, you know, great expectations, I was, what I would do is I'd buy the cheapest ticket to get into the train, and then I would just ride the train. I think they only charged, so they'd have like a guy come by and check your ticket to see if, you know, like if you paid the extra, what do you call it, like express train fee. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I have my, I forgot how it worked, but I would always just say like, oh, I forgot my ticket, but I have my Suica, and so like he wouldn't see that I didn't pay full price to go to Tokyo, and so he would just charge me the bullet train fee, which was like $5 or whatever, and then I get to Tokyo, and then I just ride the knees of somebody walking through the train station. I was a bad boy, what can I say? Hey, I mean, like, I saw on Twitter some, like, tall white guy grinding his boner up against some lady on the train in 2024, so, you know, that's, I never did that to people. I just, like, you know, kind of skimped on tickets, but, yeah, you know, of course now I just pay full price, because I don't give a shit, you know, like, whatever. You got bigger fish to fry, you know, but, yeah, I was just, you know, because I had that kind of like little loophole, I was able to go to Tokyo. Like, I would go on Friday night, and then I'd come back Sunday night. And luckily, like back then, I had a lot of friends that lived there, so I could just go crash at their place, and then just like, you know, go back to Chiba afterwards. But yeah, like the reason why I did that is because like they had no place for me to hang out in my town. They had an arcade that was really big and cool, but nobody was ever there. They had a mall that I guess you could, if you wanted to go see the families of people going shopping there, I guess you could do that. But there wasn't anything really, I don't know. It wasn't, like, there wasn't a place to really, like, meet people, you know? I guess unless you were, like, going and hitting on chicks, like, everywhere. There wasn't, like, for me, like, I like the idea of just going to a place and meeting people. And, of course, they had bars and stuff like that, but the only people that went to those bars were old people, like 40s, 50s, like, you know, like, you would have to drink, and then they would, like, you know, they would do the Daiko or whatever. And that's like, so it's like you drive there, get drunk, and pay like $30 to have somebody drive your car back home for you. And it's just like, nah, fuck that. Like, you know, like when you're a young dude, you don't have any money. So it's like, okay, that fucking sucks. And then even when I was in Chiba City, like, Chiba City was different. That was fun. I only worked there for, I think, like a year or two, but like it was great. Those teachers at that time, I don't know about now Chiba City, but at that time they loved to party, dude. Like, you know, because I was on, because Chiba City was so cheap. Usually you get one teacher for 1 year, but because they were so cheap, they just bought, or they got like a handful of teachers, and then we just changed schools every 3 months. You know, so they would get like a teacher for 4 different schools, right? And they were always so cool, though. They were just like, hey, he's coming in. We'd have a party. And then it's like, oh, hey, he's leaving. They're having a party. And then in the middle of that, they have like a new teacher come in or so. They have a party. And it was just awesome. Like, you know, it was so cool. And see, that's one of the things I don't understand about people wanting to move to Japan. And they're like, well, I just don't drink alcohol. And I'm like, what? It's like going to a seafood restaurant and ordering a burger. It's like, why are you even here? Oh, I like the atmosphere and blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but like, it's like going to Disneyland and then just like going there blindfolded. Oh, I'm here for the experience. I'm like, well, you're not gonna get the whole, like, alcohol is such an important part of Japanese culture, and like it doesn't matter what videos you guys see online of like, oh, well, young people are actually trying to opt out of the drinking with their senpais after work, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, that's still a big part of Japanese culture, is that you go out drinking with your coworkers and you have a good time, because you know it's to build that team dynamic. You know, it's like Mighty Ducks or something, you know, like you wanna rely on these people like they're your brothers and sisters, you know, like you're in it to win it with a team of 4. Ninja, guys, what we waiting for? It's ninja, rap, ninja, rap. Yeah, I hate it. You start me off on that, I just keep going down it. But it's just like, yeah, like, you know, like it's like teamwork building. And so when somebody comes here and they're like, I don't drink, I'm like, what are you, gay? I was like, come on, what are you, a homosexual? You know, you don't have sex with the regular people. It's one of those things where it's like, you're never gonna really appreciate Japanese culture unless you can participate in that. Like, that's a big part of Japanese culture, is just getting, you know, going to work, being like, that's one thing I love about Japan. I know this is supposed to be a suburb talk, but this is one aspect of Japan that I love, which is like, they don't care if you're gay or if you like fucking heavy metal or you're a big fucking anime weeb. They don't care about that, because you don't bring that to work, you know? You be whoever you want to be outside of work, but you don't bring that to work. And it's like, when I see shit like, just like people like decorating their office desks or whatever in America with like their weeb shit, or like, you know, you see like people, you know, like you see like teachers putting up all this gay pride shit in their classroom. It's like, motherfucker, you have a job. Your job is not you expressing your personality, you fucking idiot. Do your job. Be who you are outside your job, you know? And I love that about Japanese culture, because like they'll, like, you know, when you go out to the drinking party, like, you're allowed, like, the alcohol is like it's like a scapegoat. You use that to kind of express who you really are and stuff. And, you know, you can show people who you are. Like, I was watching that Otaku Labu Dekinai or whatever, like the Otakus Can't Do Love Netflix anime, and it's like this guy, he finishes work, and during lunch break, he just eats snacks and plays a Nintendo Switch at his desk. I mean, like, I think it's getting a little bit more loose with that these days, but still, it's like, you know, you're not wearing all of these accessories or whatever to, like, showcase your personality. And I like that about Japan. I hope that doesn't change, you know? You are a worker at work, and then you are who you are outside of work. And, you know, that's the thing that, you know, it's like being in the countryside, you know? It's just like, or being in the suburbs, right? Like, especially, like, because again, like, this is like still nature, right? Like, this, even though I said suburbs, like, even this right here, where you have to take a car to get everywhere, and then, like, on top of that, it's just like, it's so spread out, right? Like, oh, where do you live? I live all the way over there. How do you get there? By bus? There's no bus, you just gotta drive. Oh, okay. Or take a taxi. God forbid a taxi to go over there. You know, how do you cross the street? Well, there's no crosswalk, so you have to walk up these stairs to go, and just, I don't know. It's just, it's just blah, and it's just ma'am. It's ma'am. And Cracky Reads, best guy on the internet. Yeah, and it's so funny, because, like, YouTube algorithm was, like, sharing me, like, you know, because I've been doing the reaction videos, right? Like, I watch a Japan video, I react to it, blah, blah, blah. And I saw this guy, and he's like, my retirement story in Japan. And, you know, this guy kept saying, we moved over here, we moved over here. and he mentions my wife in one of his videos, but like he doesn't show his wife's picture, and so it's just him and his fucking dog or something. And he's like, I bought a house in Kanagawa, and I'm 64 years old, and I'm retired. And I'm like, how the fuck did you get a visa? There's no retired visa for Japan. Like, and so it's like, whenever you, like, I don't like seeing these retire videos, not because I'm against people retiring in Japan. I just don't like it how they give a false precedent that it's like, oh, hey, you can just retire in Japan. It's like, no, most of these guys are married to Japanese people, you know, or they're like real go-getters and they start up their own Airbnb or their own business, you know. And so they're retired, but they actually have like a business that helps them sponsor their visa. And then after like, you know, a couple of years or whatever, 10 years, they can get permanent residency and they don't need to do it. But yeah, it's just like even Chani in Japan, this Aussie woman, she was a Japanese teacher in Australia for like like 20 plus years or whatever. And you know, once her kids were grown up and out of the house, she's like, yeah, I'm done. And she like came over to Japan. She rented an apartment until she found an Akia that she liked, and then she just bought a house. And but even her, she's like, she got a job teaching English at like this English school or something. I forgot exactly what she does, but it's English teaching related. But the whole point is she still had to get a sponsor for her visa. So, you know, I see these guys and it's like, oh, I retired in Japan, and my only qualm with that is like, are you going to learn the language? Because like Japan is still like, I really hope Japan doesn't turn into Thailand. I don't mind people moving here. I'm not trying to gatekeep Japan, but I really don't want Japan to be like, okay, we don't have any innovation anymore. Our technology sucks, and we make so much money from tourism that we're just going to do everything in English now. Because I feel like a part of Japan, Japanese-ness or whatever you want to call it, I feel like it's gonna slowly start fading. You know, it's not gonna fade completely, but like, one of the best things about Japan is that they do things their way, you know. And I don't like the fact that just because people come over here and have money, and they have money to spend, that Japan has to bend the knee and be like, oh, we're gonna accommodate these assholes who don't speak our language. Because, you know, and it's like, I've had people in the comments be like, oh, well, TQ Sam, that's easy for you to say. You learn Japanese. You know, you speak Japanese. You were in Japan. It was different. And I'm like, motherfucker, Matt versus Japan. You know, one of my subscribers, he did AJAT while he was in America, and he was completely fluent before he came over here. So it's like, motherfucker, don't give me that bullshit wannabe TikTok impulse fucking just reaction here. It's like, nah, man, you're a big boy, and there are ways for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish before you come to Japan. So don't give me that shit, you know? And it's like, but I'm just saying that, like, Japan is, I love the language, and I really hope that it doesn't become like Thailand, where they love the tourist money so much that everyone starts to learn English and whatever. And it's like, you know, it's just, it's Japan, and it is, ma'am. Hold on, more drinks. Oh, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Yeah. So anyway, it's just like, I don't know, man. I remember I had this one like douchebag guy a long time ago when like back when I was in Aguisadani, when I was in my first Tokyo apartment, and it was small. It's funny because that apartment was smaller than my apartment now, which, I mean, it wasn't a bad apartment, but it was I don't know, compared to other people's apartments where you walk in and it's just a hallway and then a bedroom, like, that one was nice. Like, I actually had like a kitchen area. It was actually like a separate room, and then I had the toilet and the shower separate. But I remember I had some douchebag, like some Reddit guy, be like, yeah, well, I live in Uriasu or something. Like, I live in Chiba with my wife, and I have like a 2 or like 3-car garage, like, you know, and I don't even think that's a garage. He means like just a parking spot or whatever. And then it's like, I live in a big house and I have like a mall near me. And I'm like, yeah. So you're saying that, you know, in order for you to feel good, you need to live in shitty Chiba. So you have a lot of stuff, a lot of space to buy shit that you don't need. You know, like that's one of the things that's like nice about living in like kind of a studio, like rat hole apartment here in Tokyo, is that like, you know, you're kind of forced that minimalism stuff, but at the same time, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know? Like, what my apartment lacks in space, I go outside and I'm in the heart of Tokyo. Like, I live in Shinjuku, like one of the most central areas of fucking Tokyo. And so, you know, I can look out my window right now and there's fucking people walking around. There's cars moving around. Like, I love the fact that there's activity going on. Like, right out, like, I walk outside, there's always going to be people walking around, you know? And when you're in the countryside, it's like, yeah, I guess you'll see some cars and, you know, stuff. But, like, it's like, I don't know. I really don't like I cannot stress how much I do not like the image of, like, driving and it's just like, oh, there's a Skia, there's a McDonald's, there's a Starbucks, there's you know, like, there's a what are the fucking supermarkets out? There's a Trial, there's I don't know, supermarket, a Mega Donkey, you know, all this stupid shit. And it's like they have all these shops, but nobody actually goes to them. You know, there's like maybe a handful of people in them at a time. Like, I don't know how they stay open, man. Like, well, especially in the places where there's not a lot of people. And then it's like, what's the big thing you're doing this weekend? Oh, we're gonna go to some shitty third-rate amusement park, or we're gonna go to Costco or something. And I'm like, you know, or we're gonna go to this one. We're gonna go to the beach where everybody goes to because that's the only nice beach around here. You know, it's like, you know, because it's so funny, like, these rants, I like, my rant channel is probably, like, it's fallen off pretty much. I mean, I still like doing these, so, you know, it makes me, not a little sad, but it's, like, it's a little, you know, it's a little, like, unfortunate that, like, not, like, you know, I look at my old rants, and, like, they'd have so many comments in there. And then, like, these rants these days, I get, like, 3 people commenting, which is fine, you know. I think it's mostly because people get to, the people who really like commenting, they're here during the premiere. Oh, yeah, hi, everybody in the premiere, how you doing? They're here during the premiere, and so, like, they get all of their typey types out beforehand. Because every premiere, I always ask everybody, please like and comment. People like the video, but they never comment on the video. And but then I go into other people's YouTube videos, and like, people are commenting, they want to give their opinion about this stuff, and I get it. Like, my stuff is like, it's like a podcast. It's a slow burn thing. Like, I don't comment on every podcast that I listen to, so it's just like, I get it. I'm just saying that, like, the fun thing about these rants is that it's a discussion, and I'd like to be, like, I'd like somebody to come into the comments and be like, well, actually, I like the suburbs because of this. Or I like it, you know, like, if it was America, 1950s, I get it. White flight, you know, running away from the crazy, dangerous urban, you know, era. It's like, yeah, whatever, right? Like, I get it. You guys want to be where it's your little, you know, sanctuary paradise. But it's just, I don't know. Like, for me, I'm like, again, when you're just surrounded by, like, these buildings, like, look at this building that he's driving by. Like, it's a tall building, yeah, but, like, where are the landmarks there, you know? Like, where's something tall, like, that you can, like, put a thumb at, you know, that you can look at? And, I mean, that's the fun thing about Tokyo. Like, I can go anywhere, and as long as, like, the view isn't obstructed, I can see, like, Tokyo Tower, or, not Tokyo Tower, but, like, Tokyo Skytree, or something, you know? Like, that's fun. If I go to the tallest building in Shinjuku, which I think is the Metropolis building or whatever, like the government building, you could see Mount Fuji from there, and that's really cool. But yeah, it's like when you're in an area like this where it's just flat and there's no high ground to look at all the cool shit that's around you, like, I don't know, like, what is this, fucking Kansas? Like, you know, it's all corn. It's nothing but corn, no trees. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, again, for people that, like, I can, like, while I'm watching this video, I can smell. Like, I can remember the fresh air. The fresh air feeling of, like, you know, just taking it all in from all the trees and just, you know, all that stuff. And it is nice, but I'm just saying, like, it's not worth moving there just to get that every day. And again, like, I don't know, it's like some places are just hub towns, you know? Like, they're just there to be near the highways, you know? There's nothing, like, really special about them. And it's just, like, it sucks, because it's like, I remember I was watching this documentary. It was like a really short documentary about Okinawa. I think it was like Vice. It was about like drinking in Okinawa. And it's like they're interviewing these people. They're all alcoholics. And it's like, why do you think so many people drink in Okinawa? And it's like, well, because when you try to do something big, people don't like that. And they think like, you think you're better than me? They do that kind of shit. And so people don't really try to aspire for much because everyone's like, you know, it's the whole train spotting thing. Aren't you proud to be Scottish? You know, aren't you proud to be Okinawan? You know, it's shite being Okinawan. We're the lowest of the low. The fucking scum of the earth. I don't hate the mainland Japanese. They're just wankers. Meanwhile, we're not even good enough to be colonized by mainland Japanese. You know, just like Japanese and Scots. Or Northern Scots and Southern Scots. Damn Scots, they ruined Scotland. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. It's just like, again, like, I think it's also like a lot of driving, you know? Like when you're riding around Tokyo on your spaghetti, you get to see so much scenery. And it's awesome. But when you're in the countryside, it's just like you're surrounded by, it's just you're driving past boring shit. Oh, look, there's a tree. Oh, there's a street light. Oh, look, I can see into the distance and it's just like two-story trees. I don't see anything that looks cool. Like, at least if you live near the mountains, you always got the mountains, you know, like in the distance that you can see. But like when you're in like flat land, like you know, Kanagawa's not even flat, you know. I think in this video he's driving in Kanagawa. Yeah. X-Chapter, I hope you don't mind me using your footage. Yeah, he won't care. He's a cool guy. But yeah, I gotta wait till like at least spring where I can start making the bike rants again. I'd like to do at least like one bike rant a month, you know. I want to do one walking video a month, one bike rant a month if I could help it, and then just like one home video, one home rant a month, and then like at the end like have it be like you know, when I'm doing the monthly update, do that while I'm outside or something. Yeah, I've got like a little GoPro tripod, and I'm hoping to use that while like, you know, I can go to like parks. I want to go to parks more and just like do my monthly updates from now on while I'm like walking around a park. Shinjuku Gyoen is nice, and I want to get a year. Why am I yawning? I want to get a year-round pass for that place, and that'll be fun. I want to go there more often this year. Definitely take in the sights, get to know the park, right, lad? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, what are the benefits for living in the suburbs? You know, yeah, let's ask ChatGPT if ChatGPT knows. ChatGPT, why are you gay? Yeah, I am a computer program. I have no gender or a preference to either or. But why are you gay? What are the benefits of living in the suburbs? Question mark. Suburbs or outside the mega cities in Japan? Question mark. Okay, let's see what ChatGPTism has to say. Okay. Here we go. Housing costs. Housing costs and rental properties are significantly cheaper. Yeah, I guess if you want to be a cheap ass and not aspire much to make money, you can go there. Daily expenses are often cheaper, including utilities and stuff. Okay. More space. Suburban areas typically offer larger living spaces with access to yards and gardens, and there's less crowding on the streets and public places. Okay, yeah, so if you don't like people and you hate people, you hate crowds because you're a weirdo, then I guess, yeah, that's good. You're closer to nature. Yeah, so even if you don't live near nature, it's easier to commute to for mountains, rivers, and forests than if you're doing that. Also, clean air. They have significantly cleaner and better air quality there. Yeah, you got me on that. Community atmosphere. Close-knit communities. People in small towns tend to know each other, which create more supportive and friendly environment. Oh, really? Okay. I guess that's good. Better work-life balance. I like the kind of anonymity that you get by being in the city, though. It's like, I don't know you. You don't, you leave me alone, I leave you alone kind of thing. To be fair, when I was in a small town in Chiba, there wasn't anything like that, It was still... Why am I yawning so much? This is bullshit. It's probably my kotatsu. My kotatsu is nice and warm, and it's making me feel nice and warm and whatever, too. But, yeah, I mean, like, even when I was in a small little countryside place, like, there wasn't a community. Nobody got together, And it was a fairly small town, too, So, I think, you have to go out of your way if they have something like that to find it, But, I mean, I guess if you participate, if you run daily quests for people, If you go and, like, meet people and then ask them, what do you need help with? And you go help them, I guess that's one thing. Getting the coffee. Better work-life balance. Less stressful environment. The slower pace of living outside of the megacities leads to... Really? It leads to lower stress levels, you think? Shorter commutes? I don't know. I had way shorter commutes in Tokyo than I did ever in the countryside. Cultural preservation. Traditional Japan. Family-friendly living. Okay, slower pace of life. Work opportunities for remote jobs. Okay. Transportation, efficient rail system, even the suburban areas. I guess that is true. Compared to America, they do have way better trains for commuting. So I'll give it to them for that. Okay, they won. +1 for them on that thing. Yeah. Okay, what else do we got here? Okay. So that was it. Nice. ChatGPTism helped us out. Cool. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the question of the day for you guys. Do you guys live in the countryside or suburb or city? Did you choose to live there, or do you want to like move out eventually? I'm sitting here right now in my Kabukicho apartment, just chilling. And I'm, it's like outside right now. What is it's like 6 degrees outside right now. I'm under, I'm on I've got my heat tech under clothing. What do you call it? I got my shirt and my long underwear on. I got 2 pairs of socks on me, and I'm wrapped up in 2 fleeces, and I got a hat on because it's cold, and I don't like using the heater because it makes me feel weird. I don't know why. I think it's just because I grew up without heaters, and so it's not about like saving money or anything. It feels weird. Like it feels weird walking around my house in like a t-shirt or something. But obviously it's nice. It feels like I'm wearing like blankets and stuff. It's nice. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I felt so lonely when I was in the countryside, and like even like outside the countryside in the suburbs where I lived, like it felt like it was so hard to connect with people and go out, and like it's so funny because it's like when you want to be alone or you're introverted, you want to be away from people. And for me, I don't really think I think I'm both, like I'm a mixture of both, but it's like I like options, right? And it's like if my options are I have a smaller house, so that means I have smaller stuff or not that much stuff, and I can choose to come back here though when it's comfy enough for me. And then when I want to go out, like there's all these people and activity going around, it feels good, it feels great to have like both. And I don't know, like, do you guys, like, I had a comment on one of my shorts recently, and this guy was like, I make so much more money in America, and the things I like to buy are in America, like American cars or something, and I couldn't do that if I lived in Japan. It would be too expensive. And then on top of that, we just have more variety for everything in America, so I like America better, but I'll come visit Japan. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I get that, but like for me, it's like I don't really need that superficial stuff, you know. Like I guess if you're one of those guys who's like, oh, I love to go to like this local bar that sells like craft IPAs or something, and you know, I love this sports team and I love my family and my friends are all here, then I totally get it, man. But it's just like if you have none of that, why would you move to the countryside? You know, I don't get it. A Fuzz Deefus production, okay. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to extend this video a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably be putting the live stream IRL or URL in the chat right now. But do me a favor, guys, if you made it this far, smash the like button and hit that subscribe button and subscribe bell to get notified next time I'm streaming, so you guys know that I'm doing the thing. And also join the Discord. I do all the updates for everything in the Discord. And thanks for joining me today, guys. And you all stay black. And I'll see you on the live stream. Yeah, buddy.